I selfishly wanted to take a few minutes and just announce a few things. And also there's a request, Martin. Declan, if I could just take, would you guys mind just indulging me on some personal stuff? It does affect us and this group, but I just want to announce like where I'm going and what part this group has played in that. And so I kind of want to bring you all in it, but a lot of this is directed at Martin. So Martin, I'm at a request for your assistance. And Declan has recently sent me, I think, an overview of yours of Noble Goldman that I am going to send out to some people. And what I wanted to announce to this group is I'm starting my own mastermind group. And I still wish to be a part of this. And I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing in the sense that this is, it's new territory for me in terms of creating what I'm about to create here. And I wanted to put out what my intentions are so you know, and then what I'll be doing at times, if there's the opening for it on this call, is I'll be at a request for coaching for how I accomplish what I'm out to accomplish here. So the purpose of my creating my own mastermind group, and one of the reasons that I've been here, learning so much from this call, has been, I have a vision, and I think I've shared this with you. I'm out to create something very special, I think, in the world as my legacy. And I've been flirting with Noble Goldman for a year now. I mean, we've been, Mark and I have been in conversations. I've found a wonderful new alliance in Declan Downing, and of course, Ricky is the one who brought me into Noble Goldman and sponsored me as a gold star. And so what I want to do is, in my mastermind session, I want to create a coaching on projects mastermind, which means that I'll be inviting people to come to the call with specific projects, including my own. And then people will come to that both as students and as masters to coach other people in their projects. So people that come to that mastermind each week, and it's not like, okay, where are you in your project? Where are you in your project? People will come at a request to put out their project and get coached. And I see an opportunity to not only coach people in their projects, but also for people to learn how to coach others in their projects, which will forward my goal of shifting the network marketing paradigm. The project and teaching projects is one of the pieces of success by design that I do. And so the breakdown that I'm having right now, and this is kind of what I wanted to declare here, is there's so much for me to learn. There are things that I know, and I think I have a level of mastery in, but there's also so much that I don't know. And so I know how to run, I think I know how to run a mastermind, but there's a certain protocol here, and I want to learn that protocol. I don't know how to set up a Facebook group. I don't know how to do that. And I need help, Martin, from you, and many, I understand how savvy, I mean, I've gotten this, technology is like breathing for you. It seems it's not the same for me. It's like, for you, it's like drawing breath. For me, it's like paralysis, and not completely. I mean, I don't know whether you guys saw this on my Facebook page, but I put up a meme the other day, and I said, I'm really sorry I didn't answer your call. I don't use my phone for that anymore. But that's kind of the way I am, So, Martin, I'm going to continue to come to this mastermind to continue to learn and observe and contribute and be coached as I have already. But my program, Success by Design, is being brought into Noble Goldman as a MSI, and that will be happen or will be rolled out in the next 30 days. So what I'm doing right now is I'm choosing my initial mastermind group. I'm inviting, would be a better word. I'm inviting people to be in my mastermind group, and I'm going to be bringing in, I hope at least 6 or so gold stars, and other people who will just, I think, come in as and then become gold stars quickly. So the reason I'm telling you all this is I've got so much to do and so much to learn, and the break, when I declare breakdowns, they're really a good thing. That's just what I call them, because I get to I love to operate from, I've become very comfortable from operating from a place of not knowing, and so when I don't know, I ask, and I usually ask for assistance and ask for help, and that's something that makes my relationship stronger and allows me to grow. So I have come to really appreciate the power of this community and the possibility of Noble Goldman. That's mostly what I've learned, but I want to acknowledge you guys because I've really learned it here. And Martin, you have been a stellar example and inspiration to me. And I'm requesting your assistance going forward. So what I'd like, so I wanted to get that out, and I'm kind of happy that we have a small group here, because I would have been more self-conscious taking the time to say all that, when we have 12 people here, so I'm really happy to do that. And so do you guys get what I'm saying? And do you have some initial feedback or comments?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks so much, Russ, for your kind words, and to us all as a group. And well done on choosing to step forward and create your own mastermind, which is the whole purpose of what Noble Goldman's about, to empower us to go and do so and connect with more people. And also well done for showing us all that there's not a problem in choosing to ask for help, and feeling that it's a comfortable environment to ask for help, even for somebody who, I've said to you this in the past, I see you as a mentor to me, especially with your knowledge in life and your business and so on. So, and someone who I class as a friend. So just to hear the other side of it is well appreciated and received. I know that, Glenn, you unmuted yourself. So is there something you wanted to say?
Just pretty much the same what you just said. And since I've been on these calls, and I've known you, Martin, for 4 or 5 years, and I've known Russ for probably, a couple of months. And I've been the one scrolling around in the background looking at Success by Design and checking out what you're doing there, and jumping onto your late night calls and taking a lot of inspiration from what you've got out there as well. And these 3 people here, Kirsty input into stuff popping up all the time on Facebook, and I think it's great that we can see, whether it's 4 people, 6 people, 8 people, a dozen, whatever. I don't think there's anyone within this mastermind group or on the platform that I've come across so far would have anything to say against you coming out and saying this at all. I think it's fantastic what you're doing. And I found a long time ago, but I haven't actioned it, is the best way to get ahead. Sometimes if you can't find it, ask someone about it, and don't have a problem about asking about it. That's been my problem, and I was talking to someone yesterday about that thing as well. And yeah, I think it's brilliant that you're going to get your platform on as an MSI as well. That's well deserved. The work that you've put in over the years, and I look forward to catching up with you all the time, whether it's on this one or if I can jump into a new one. I could certainly use help from all directions, and hopefully give something back as well. It's fantastic.
Well, you guys are more than welcome to be in my mastermind. As a matter of fact, I might have to have two, because I've got to deal with two different hemispheres, and I want to make sure I include, down under, and I hope to bring some really wonderful people to the party, and I'm committed to seeing Mark's vision through. And the more we've talked, and we've been talking for like about a year now, and I had this, I guess the protocol now is I went before the round table, it's so kind of like on the hot seat at the round table last week, and it was just wonderful. I mean, everybody was just so kind to me, but the more I participate, the more I see how much our goals, the goals of Noble Goldman and the goals of Success by Design are aligned, and how much the people on this call contribute to me every week in what I'm doing, and it's a wonderful gift. It's a great gift, and I can't wait to give it. I can't wait to get it out and really see it happen. And I don't think it's a coincidence that 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I set this goal to create 1,000 millionaires from the training, from Success by Design training, not Russ Devan, but from the training. And isn't it interesting how I've wound up aligned with someone who wants to produce 1 million millionaires globally? And Mark, I remember, I consider this a high acknowledgement. He said to me last week, he says, your 1,000 millionaires are here. And I believe that's right. And somebody said to me not too long ago, how many do you have so far? And I said, I don't know that I have any so far. I said, but if you want to see 1,000 show up in 6 months, I can show you how I'm going to do it. I can show you precisely how I'm going to do it. And if the end of June 2021 comes around and I only have 500 millionaires, I'm not going to complain because there'll be 1,000 in the next 2 months. So it's like, I am really, really excited, if you can't tell.
Absolutely, Russ. Yeah, and I can totally resonate with where you're going in regards to Noble Goldman being the foundation of your vision being achieved right now, from a point of people being able to come there and basically you're leveraging from it. I mean, I had this conversation with my business partner, and he told me not to do what I was going to do. So for instance, this here is for an iPhone. Plug it in one end, get your headphones in the other. This is an accessory, and companies create these to leverage from Apple creating the phones. So they leverage Apple's database to sell their products. Mm-hmm. So when you look at, in your case, Russ, in this way, you have the ability to leverage, not from a place of taking because you're providing value straight at the front, but you're able to leverage the people that are in there, knowing that they are all people who value personal growth, who want to succeed in all areas of life, not just financially. And therefore you're able to access that and provide your value. This is of value to me, and it wasn't provided by Apple. It was external. So I'm getting value from it, but they've leveraged Apple to grow. So that's that. And when I created my own training platform, I leveraged Enagic for people to come and help them grow their businesses, to help them become more successful. But I had to provide the value to help them first.
Yes.
So I can see 100% how you're going to grow with this. And just out of curiosity, because there's only 4 of us anyway, and I know there's people who watch the replay. Christy and Glenn, do you see yourselves, and there's no judgment to the answer, but do you two see yourselves running your own mastermind sometime in the future?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Martina and I are now already putting something together.
Cool. Good work. Glenn?
I'm delaying because initial thoughts are no, but having had some harsh conversations with some people, not harsh, blunt conversations with some people this week, including myself, there's got to be excuse my language, shitload of people out there similar to me that are looking for something like this that will really, really resonate with me. That I'm actually meeting with someone next week about changing my group of company names and that sort of stuff after chatting with someone last week. So just expanding on that, it's helping people, sort of thing. In a long answer, yes.
Yeah, good. And so the reason why I asked that question is because what we now go and share together with Mastermind and really with what Russ brought up is going to help us all. Okay, so it's definitely not just now, just for us, because at some point we're all going to launch our own. And it's not to say that I've done it and it's all over, because I'm constantly, how can I improve this? How can I make this become more of value? What topics can I cover? So I know that you mentioned earlier, Russ, around it seems like technology comes to me like breathing. I can tell you that's not always been the case.
I'm happy to hear that. There's hope for me yet.
He's got all these people running around in the background doing everything for him, actually.
Yeah, I wish.
I've been to his house. It's full of people sitting out in the back.
Oh, yeah, all those people running around the cells in my body. So I'll tell you for why. So 2017, around about September, October, we stepped into online marketing. And my business partner at the time had done quite a lot of it, and he's an IT consultant. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, you take care of all that side and I'll take care of all the rest. And he went, no, you are going to do all the online stuff, because if you can do it, I know anybody can do it. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or you're being insulting.
Your backhanded compliment.
Yeah, backhanded compliment. So I went, right, okay. He said that all the training's there, follow it. Look at what other people are doing, see how you can figure it out. Go to YouTube, ask questions on Google, get the answers, because that way, that way you're going to empower other people who don't know how to work online to do it. So that's what I did. I basically started to watch YouTube videos. I mean, September last year, I had no idea how to do a YouTube channel. So I went onto YouTube and said, how do I create a YouTube channel in 2019? And I watched the video, and I had the video there on the side of my screen, and I had another window open, and I was pausing the video, doing that bit, play, pause, do that bit. And that's how I created my YouTube channel. Now, naturally, a YouTube channel is no good without videos. So I just started recording videos, and all my videos have been recorded on this phone. That's all I've done. I've got my phone. I went to the electronics store and I bought myself a little microphone, little lapel mic, and an extension lead, and a a tripod. And that's pretty much how I've done most of my videos. Now, there's some videos that, some of my intro videos, so I posted in the group chat about what I feel about Noble Goldman. So I actually created that as a script, and I read it as a script for the simple reason that I wanted to be straight to the point and respect people's time and not just waffle on. Mm-hmm. But when I wrote it, it was 100% from how I felt.
Yes.
And when so now I've told you that that was a script. When you watch it, now you know that it's a script. When you watch it, the question to ask yourself, does it sound like Martin's reading a script? And the reason why that's the most important question here is because when I write a script, I write it as the way I speak.
Right. I do the same. Yeah.
So somebody would come along and go, well, that's not grammarly correct. Well, I don't care because I don't speak grammarly correct. So grammatically, sorry. Yeah. There you go. Couldn't have been even more perfect.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Russ. I was going to clean up. I thought it was a bit rude.
That was absolutely uncalled for.
Remember, Russ, there's no judgment here. Yeah, and that's
forgive me, I couldn't resist this one.
I'm stoked you did it. Do you know what? I've always encouraged people having some good banter and using me as an example. But the key there is that when even when you watch the TV, the news presenters, they're reading from a teleprompter.
A teleprompter, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I can bring my message over in a shorter period of time, be straight to the point to add value to other people, that's the most important part, because not only is what I share on the outside important, but it's also a true representation of me. So when they come behind and they get me in full flow, it's got even more depth, but it still sounds very much the same or very similar to the sales video, if you will, which we know I mean, we had a great call before and we covered a lot of this on the free call we just had. So the reason why I'm saying this is that when I decided to and Ricky was the one who came to me and said, will you partner with me and do a mastermind? And I was like, yeah, okay. It's part of Noble Goldman. Yeah, cool. But I wasn't in Noble Goldman then. I mean, I was in it. I was a member, but I wasn't in. So, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do this. This is cool. But I was doing it to help Ricky, not for me. So pardon?
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
It was just.
I got here.
I just said, but I said to Ricky, I'll do a co-mastermind with you. But it was, in all fairness to Ricky, and I'm not saying this from a place of disrespect or disempowerment to him, Ricky didn't want to step up on his own and do it.
Right.
So he's looking for someone who was strong enough to do it with him.
Right.
And he's like, you're the guy. So he was able to see that in me and empower me to step forward. But I knew that I wasn't ready for it. And that's why I said, I'm too busy. I'm focused in other areas. I need to step away. And they stopped. They stopped. So when I came back, Ricky said, I want to get them started again. I said, well, do them. He's like, well, I need you. No, you don't need me. You can do them. But I said, when I'm ready, I'll do it. And one of the things that I've always said is, my hand's always out to help you. But when I'm running, you need to start running with me.
Right.
You've seen it on the movies. When that train's leaving, you've got to bloody run to jump into that carriage if you want to get on it.
Yeah.
And I said, when the time's right, I'll start running. And the time was right for me a few months ago when I really got and said, right, Noble Goldman's where I'm going to focus now. Now, the only thing that I did was I'd gone on to Declan's mastermind and I was like, okay, well, I can see how Declan's doing it. He's picking a topic and he's just rolling with it. And then I jumped on Christo and Lloyd's mastermind, where they have a free one that then goes into a gold star call. And I'm like, I like the way that they've done this because they're using the value in the free one to then upsell into becoming a gold star. But I felt a big level of disconnection in the free one. Now that's what I felt. So I was like, why am I feeling disconnected? And I was like, it's not a mastermind. A mastermind is where you actually have the time to speak together and figure out a mastermind around a topic or whatever's coming up, whether it be in life or business, like now. And you have the time to talk rather than this is a presentation for the next 30 minutes. sit and watch this and just comment in there whether it's a yes or a no to any of the questions. So I went away and said, okay, how can I create what I want to create? Knowing that if I'm facilitating it, it doesn't mean it's the right mastermind for everybody or the wrong mastermind for everybody. It's just the way that I'm doing it. And it's a true reflection of what value I would get and what I would want going on a mastermind. So what I found with Declan's mastermind is fantastic because, in my opinion, it's a true reflection of Declan. Christo and Lloyd's is really it's very, very good. It's a true reflection of them. And when I had a call with Lloyd the other day, he said, I created a masterclass to sell into Noble Goldman. But what you've created is connection on a very deep emotional level. And that's powerful. Now that's the free call. And then we went into the Gold Star. He said, I want to create what you've created. But at the same time, he's getting people upgrading to Gold Star on his calls. Well, that's not my intention necessarily. Do I want Gold Star members? Yes. But my focus isn't that at the moment because, in all due respect, and this is what I said to Lloyd, the back end of it isn't structured to support them.
Yes.
That's why I feel it's important that whatever we choose to do, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier, Kirsty, whatever we choose to do, what is the back end that's going to then support the people onto the next phase? And are you going to have to be that back end and kind of like this, the masterminds of the incubator, if you will, before Noble Goldman's finally up to date, up to speed? Because even though it's 2 years old, it's still evolving and growing, and it's not. You know, Ricky has this challenge, and I'm not speaking ill of Ricky in any way. We had this call about it, and he said, the thing is no one's earning money in Noble Goldman. And I said, no, they're not to what Mark talks about. But what you've got to understand is Mark's talking about the vision. He's talking that's all it is. It's just a vision.
Puts it out as it's a possibility is what it is. It's a possibility. Everything is a possibility. Everything is a conversation. It's not, you know, and it's very interesting to see how people hold things, or the way they put their expectations. You know, I was told one time by a mentor of mine that the formula for a breakdown is an expectation that's not met. You know, so it all has to do with what the expectations are and how they're set up. So the thing when excuse me for interrupting you. No, I was just commenting on that, and so pardon me for interrupting you, Martin. And I need to excuse myself for just one or 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to mute.
That's all right.
We're going to mute. I think I'm going to mute. Yeah, I'm going to mute. Going to mute.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything coming up for you guys whilst Russ has just nipped out?
Yeah. If I could just say one thing, you know, I just think Russ's program is just such an awesome fit for Noble Goldman. I met Russ years ago when I was involved with World Global Network, and Ricky was in it too, and he did some training with us, and I've still got the recordings to this day. But he talks about the unlearning of things. And at the moment, we're having an intense study on outwitting the devil. And that's all about the social conditioning and the limitations that we place on ourselves. And Russ talks about unlearning. It's the same thing, but a different language. And what a perfect fit as an MSI for Noble Goldman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Kirsty. That's exactly where I started with yesterday. And the big word I've got highlighted on my page from my notes when I listened to the chapter 4 yesterday is conditioning. And all the way through that, 35 minutes of audio probably took me an hour or more to listen to. I'm going back, my head's going back in my teenage years, in my school years, my preschool years, and going, yeah, Mum and Dad helped me with homework. My brother helped me with my homework. Who helped him with homework? Yeah, my mum and dad. And you're thinking, you know, what is it? And we're thinking, okay, so my kids now, so my daughter turned 29 on Monday, and I look at her, and she didn't take an awful lot of help with homework, and she is a pretty free-thinking young lady. And my son didn't want help with homework, didn't have a great time at school, and he is completely free-thinking. You meet him, he's not, well, he's like me, but he's doing his own thing, and he's happy. You know, he's as happy as Larry. Lives about an hour south. He lives down in Bunbury, Mutton, so he lives a couple of hours south of us. Works for the post office, and he loves it. You know, and it all comes down to that conditioning. You know, thinking, you know, it's not how we drive the kids; it's giving them that opportunity to think for themselves, not drive them. But yeah, drive them so they understand what's coming up, to assist them, to guide them, not drive them, not to push them. As Martin says, you know, it's, you know, put that hand down and help them, rather than get in the back and push them up, sort of thing. So yeah, it's interesting things that came up for me all the way through that chapter. Yeah, and definitely the unlearning, and that's where my head's at this week. What Martin said, you know, what's come up while Russ was out of the room. I'm just saying what's come up for us. Yeah, I had a pretty tough week. Today hasn't helped, but it will help with that loss. That, you know, it forces me occasionally to revisit things and just go, this is where I really need to be, and, you know, keep in my own lane, well, obviously with family and friends and stuff, and just do what I feel comfortable doing, and that's the track that I'm heading down at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing there, Glenn. And going back to what we was just saying then before, was that and this is the conversation we had, Russ, was that it's possibility. It's the vision of what Mark's got and the possibility that we've all got. And
Yeah.
you know, I said to Ricky, I created a video presentation to my own Enagic team that showed them exactly how to earn $500,000 a year and onto $4 million in a year with less than 100 people. In fact, it was 52 people in total, and 6 of them repeating the process. It's not even all 52. If all 52 got 52, it's worth over 4 million. And I showed them exactly how to do it. And I said, this is available to every single Enagic distributor to achieve, but you need everybody to say yes. And that means and you can go beyond that, you can go well beyond that. But the point being is that we can show everybody the possibilities, but everybody has to say yes for it to be a reality.
Right.
And we know that people don't always say yes. There's fear that creeps in, there's self-doubt and so on. Now, when, and Ricky had brought this up a couple of times, and this is, you know, Ricky was like, what we all doing, we're all here to earn money. And I totally agree. We are here, we do, but money is just part of what we do. It's not the only thing. It's part of what we can achieve as a result. And I said around this is that some people are going to come in because they just want the money. Some people are just going to come in because they want the education and the personal development. Some people are going to come in because they just want the masterminds. They're going to come in at wherever they want to come in. Not a problem, but as they go along through life, we're going to evolve, and the end result of whatever that is for people is going to be achieved. Now, from a financial point, we can show them exactly what they can achieve, but we've got to find those people that want to be a part of that. Now, there's nobody who's achieved that success yet in Noble Goldman, because it's not at the moment structured for it to work. And you can't achieve what Mark's saying without a team. So you have to go right the way back to the beginning and go, how do we bring people in to achieve that financial result that we may desire? The way to do it is through the power of masterminds. So if that's the focus of how to bring people in and keep them in that nurturing stage and build these relationships and that confidence and the vision of what Noble Goldman is, because people love the vision of things, to step into that and go, well, are we actually creating masterminds? Are we helping people come together? Are we giving them that opportunity to step into this? Because there's many people out there that I've spoken to who I've come across and gone, I was looking for a mastermind. Didn't know where the hell I was going to find it. And here I am. And you think, well, if I don't, and I think you said this earlier on, and I know, I think you may have said it, Glenn, if I don't create it, who's missing out on me not choosing to take action?
Right, exactly. No, that's, you said everything that you've said in the last 5 or 10 minutes is so rich, Martin. And let me share, if I could, I'd like to share some thoughts about it. For one thing, and you were talking about this when I came back, Glenn, I overheard a little bit and then caught the tail end of it. You were saying, I think it was about children or kids, you know, doesn't matter, teenagers, whatever, about pushing them to do something. It's the same in business. If you try to push somebody to do something, it's natural law, they're going to resist. I don't care how sophisticated the push is. The secret to enrollment is providing choice, actually giving somebody a real choice not to do it, not a guilty choice, like if you don't do it, then you know what you are, you know, which is the kind of choice that some people give, but a real choice. And then when people do choose, they're more likely to engage because it becomes their idea. So another piece to that is this idea, and I don't know whether Kirsty may have mentioned this or not, but every day things become so evident to me how many false belief systems there are that are just, and the thing about false belief systems is they're invisible. You don't see them. If you saw them, you wouldn't do them, or you wouldn't be them. But the thing is, they're invisible. And one of those false belief systems, in my opinion, is that if you want something really bad, that's what brings it about. And I say that's not so. Wanting, I think, has maybe a bit of a relationship to it, but there's a very important distinction between wanting something and being committed to it. And that might sound subtle, but it's really not. There's lots of people that want to make money. Like you will probably have, if you asked 100 people engaged in network marketing why they're there, they'd say they want to make money. I want to make money, and I'm not making money. I need to make money. Well, do you think that's because they want to make money? Because I say that it's not. That's the illusion. It's not the money that they're after. It's what the money will provide that they're committed to. And sometimes what the money will provide is choice. They don't have how many times people say, look, I got to do this. I don't have a choice. Well, we know that's nonsense. Of course they have a choice. But the illusion is that we're all doing this for money, that Noble Goldman is an opportunity to make money, that it's, that if it's not making money, it's not working. And I say that when people begin to understand what money provides, that they're committed to, and they get their commitments in order, then the money is produced because it's not a function of what they want, it's what they're committed to. And here's another axiom, and this came from a wonderful coach and mentor of mine who's not here anymore. He said, the thing about wanting and committed to, he says, you can go out on a riverbank tonight and you can scream up at the moon how bad you want something and see what difference it makes. But you've always gotten in life everything you've ever been committed to. And we're always committed to something, always. And we don't see it. We don't see it, but sometimes we're committed to safety. Sometimes we're more committed to safety than we are the risk of growing, like what the pain or the risk of growing. So, I don't want to lecture or pontificate, but I'm just inspired by what Martin said, because here we have an opportunity to shift people's lives. This is making, money is a part of it, as we said, but it's not the money. and it's okay to want money and want lots of it. It's just that when people start seeing that it's what the money provides that they're committed to, it realigns the way they set goals. Like, anyway, so that all came from you, Martin, not from me. So I just felt thrown to say it, that's all.
If I could just say on top of what you're saying there, Russ, I think that the first step in all of that is the unlearning. We might want money, we might want this and that and come into Noble Golden, but then we find out that we have to go right back and do the unlearning first, the social conditioning, to find our real selves, which will then empower us to move forward.
Yeah, I think that's powerful. Kirsty, you're absolutely right. And there's years and years and years of illusion that is in front of us. Somebody asked me, and I might have even have said it on this call. Somebody asked me what one of my favorite personal development books was, and it's a rather obscure one, to be quite honest. Most people don't know of it, and maybe that's because I'm stuck back in the 70s and 80s somewhere. But there's a wonderful book by Richard Bach, who's the same person that wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which probably he's best known for. But there's a book called Illusions, and the subtitle is The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. And the book is roughly a parody of the author's life, but it's about belief systems, limiting belief systems, and how they're just getting away, and it's a fable. It's a fable, but it was inspired by his thoughts of what would happen if he could meet and talk to somebody like Jesus Christ, or Buddha, or Shihatru Buddha, or something, one of the great thinkers or philosophers or religious people. And he, the author, used to barnstorm in the summer times. He'd take like 3 months, and he had this World War I biplane, and he'd go out and he'd land on some farmer's field in Indiana, and he'd cut a deal with a farmer. He'd say, look, I'm going to give airplane rides if you'll let me stay here, in this field and camp out for the summer. I'm going to give airplane rides to townspeople, and I'll give you the money. Okay, so that's the deal. And so that's how he'd spend his summers. And he thought, what would it be like if I met someone who could give me the secrets to the universe? And he writes a story about one day that happens, and another World War I biplane lands on the field. And the person that gets out of that plane is a reluctant Messiah. And he has the Messiah's handbook, and he teaches him the secrets to the universe, because this guy doesn't want to have it anymore. He says, everybody wants to know all this stuff, and I'm tired of telling them. So I'm going to tell you, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. And it's just an amazing, a wonderful story. I actually read it the whole book on a flight back from Hong Kong, I think, a long time ago. But I've read it many times since, and God knows how many copies of the book I've sold. But it's a great story. I highly recommend it.
I'd advise you get your own Amazon account and start, and then you can earn some money from it with all your recommendations.
Russ, the Amazon affiliate.
Yeah, Amazon affiliate.
Just a couple of things that come up for me there, Russell. Russ, you say, you know, about not pushing people. It wasn't until, so I spent 17 years in living in London and working in the foreign exchange market. Now, leading a team there, as I did for the last 4 or 5 years, on a pretty successful desk, the motivation was easy. Talk to your customers, get the deals done, you'll get the money in your pocket at the end of the month. Piece of cake. I then moved into a corporate role with an iron ore mining company here in Perth. And the first thing I said to the commercial manager after the first month was, how do I get these people motivated? They're just, you know, they're sitting there, data entry, paying payments. It was accounts payable, paying this, paying that, what else. And it's really hard to motivate people. And he said, make them think it's their idea. Simple as that.
Right.
Get them to change, make them think it's their idea. Have you thought about this? Give it some thought, go away, come back. And they go, actually, I've thought about this some more and I think we could possibly do this. Then they think it's because it's their idea. They then know they had more motivation to go and do it. And that worked pretty well for me. There's some that just had no idea and just wanted to plug away. And they that was natural attrition at its best. But yeah, I've forgotten that. I've been out of the corporate world now for 4.25 years. And, you know, I've parked all that up, but it's now starting to come back to me, and highlighted by what you've just said, that, you know, finding my, I hate using this, you know, finding my avatar, my tribe, whatever else, but getting those people, you know, I want to work with people like me, and working with people like that is going to give me more gratification, more satisfaction.
Yeah.
Like getting them out of where they are. You know, I'm so glad where I am, just for the pure chance of, I don't know where we come around. Martin and I have spoken about this a few times over the years, of where I was to where I am now. But now I understand I'm in a position to be able to help others do that in many ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not always about the money. For me, I fell in and out of network marketing a little while ago because it was about the money and I needed to earn something. So I went back to the job, which didn't work for 9 months. But, you know, I'm back in a space now where I'm able to work on me and with my wife and do other things. So, and it's not about the money. It's about what the money gives me at the end of the day.
Yeah. The choices that it gives you.
Totally.
And you also said something else that's so profound, and that is that when you start choosing who you want to work with, that's one of the true gifts of this. You can surround yourself with whoever you want. You get to pick people. And when people are picked, they feel honored. You know, when people are chosen, you're acknowledging them. And one of the things that is, there's so much resistance in network marketing is people aren't chosen, they're grabbed, they're bullied, they're badgered. It's like I said, it looks like dragging, kicking, and screaming, or begging. You know, and you might get people that way, but neither one of you are happy.
No.
What's that? So when people are doing something by choice, or when people feel chosen and honored and special, and you're surrounding yourself with people like that, what can you create? What's possible out of that? It's really something.
And that's where I'm starting to have a little bit of success now, is the people I'm working with, I've actually got family. And and I classify Ricky and you know, in the same boat as Martin, as pretty close friends. And, you know, working with these people, it's different to working with someone on, you know, previously had contacts on the other side of the country or globally, and you go, they don't know me from a bar of soap. I don't know them. You know what? And, you know, so it's better now that, you know, I'm choosing those people who I want to work with. You know, I've been chosen by a couple of people that work with me, and that's great. And yeah, to then turn that the other way and to help some other people is really, really good. So.
I think that that would make a really good conversation starter in a mastermind group, talking about, like Martin mentioned in the previous call, about him qualifying people that he wants to work with. How do we pick the people we want to work with? I think it'd be just interesting to hear people's different perspectives on that, because I think if you pick the right people, you will grow a lot quicker and your team will grow a lot quicker, and it'll be a lot more enjoyable, rather than trying to drag people in and trying to convince them of this and being creating a sense of dependence from them. They need to be empowered like you. So it's about qualifying the right people.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm up for that mastermind call. The very short message I got back from someone yesterday, who I thought was probably a decent connection, and all I got back was, in capital letters, note, then in lowercase, if people aren't listening, I can 100% bank on it, those people are not your avatar. But yep, that rings pretty true. Thanks very much.
I often point that out when I'm talking or having the prospecting conversation with people. I say, the paradigm is this warm and cold market thing. People you know. Whether you know someone or don't know them isn't what makes them a prospect. And so that's already throwing people down the wrong tunnel. And yet it's way, well, this person I like, or this person might be good, or I know this person, I don't know him. And I said, if you want to see a perfect prospect, look at yourself. What was it about you that made you a prospect in the first place? Because I can tell you every single time somebody who was open to a conversation. Now, how many people do you know that aren't open to a conversation?
Yeah.
Lots.
And
companies say, well, how do you find out if they're open? You ask them if they're open to a conversation. So it's like the two qualities that my top qualities in a possible prospect are, number one, that they're open. That's first. Number one, if they're not open, then we might be friends, we might be lots of things, but we're not going to be in business together. And number two, that they genuinely care and can be interested in people other than themselves. More interested in someone else than they are selling something. More interested in someone else than they are getting somebody to do something. And if they have those two qualities, I can work with everything else. Everything else.
Could I just make a comment there and take us back to the beginning of the meeting, where we started off in the sense of talking about setting up a mastermind group, that there's a set of files that Christoph and Lloyd have put together as in training to set up a mastermind group. I don't know whether, I only found out about them the other day, nosing around, and they're really good training videos that they've got, or I believe they are excellent resources. And the other thing was, I just wanted to make a comment about that. I was terrified about setting up a mastermind group, taking that step forward, not being real techno savvy and all of that type of stuff. So what I did was I picked on somebody else who's got those skills and wanted to partner with them setting up a mastermind group, which I'm doing with Martina. She's got the skills that I need to be able to even use Zoom. I know that I've got a lot that I can contribute offering a mastermind group, and I know that I'm going to grow from the process, but I know that working with somebody, I'm going to pick it up a lot quicker. So she's made me a co-host in the mastermind groups that we're running. And from that, I will grow. To me, it's not a quantum leap in being an expert tomorrow. It's about learning the process, how to do everything. And because she's got the skills that I need, I wanted to partner with her.
Smart. Good for you.
I think that's great, Kirsty. And I think it was sort of adding to that a little bit as well. When I first got into this sort of business type, as Martin said, it was like, these are the instructions, go off and do it. Because if you end up doing it for everybody else, it's just going to be, it takes longer. But, what I used to do was with, back in the old days of Facebook ads, there's one screen, there's another screen, pause, do this piece, pause, do this piece, pause, do that bit. And if you're working with someone, working alongside someone, it's the quickest way to learn. That's what I did when I came back in, when I changed roles within the mining company from one area to another. I had to learn a whole new skill set. I brought a lot in, but I had to learn a whole new skill set about dealing with certain types of people. language and whatever else, dealing with traditional owners of our country. And I just I sat alongside someone in each division for a week to get how they were doing things. My language was different to their language. There's certain ways and means that you could talk to different people. And I learned, so my manager said, what are you doing? I said, well, they're pretty good at this. I'm new. I can help them. I want them to help me. So I accelerated my learning in that space over a period of a few months, I reckon. Yeah, probably shot myself in the foot at the end of the day because I did myself out of a job. But it worked no end for me, sit alongside someone. So that's great. And I hope to jump on. That's Monday mornings, I think, isn't it? That call with Martina. So that's a great idea.
I tend to watch Martin all the time. I keep turning up for the foundation calls, and I don't know whether Martin thinks, so Kirsty, you've done this phase, you should be on the gold star by now, but I keep turning up like a bad penny. But what I'm watching when I'm not yapping, what I'm watching for is what he's doing, how he's pulling it together. How is he presenting the mastermind? How is he allocating the numbers? What are the questions that he's asking? And importantly, what are the comments that he's making? How is he including new people who have just come on that call that haven't been on there before? How is he including and pulling them into the conversation, hoping the older ones will just shut up? So, I'm just watching for those skills, learning from the people who are already doing it and have been doing it for some time.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm doing the same thing later on today. I've got a call in about an hour and a half for another networking group I'm in. We're starting another Zoom meeting, another global, actually an international one. So they've asked me to lead that, and it'll be, okay, we're going to keep the same format that we've done for the local ones that was forced from face-to-face meetings to Zoom meetings. And I ran a lot of those. I stepped up and said, look, I want to be involved in the international one. She said, do you want to lead it? Why not? Give me another out there, another avenue. So I've got some ideas to bring to the table, but they're all based on what I've learned through sitting on so many meetings during this time, because I can just attend 4 meetings in a day by Zoom. So, and that's it. I was one of those serial networkers where I just jumped into every meeting to learn from different people that were leading each group, and they all have different things. So you got to bring your own personality to the table as well, and your own charisma to it. But to get through the basics of what we want to get through in a very short space of time, it's going to have to be very well governed. And I've done the same thing, jumped on the Martin's calls, and it's just like stick to the subjects, but have that flexibility as well if need be. You don't want to be a governess and say, no, you've had your two minutes and 30 seconds. Sometimes we do. When you have 8 people on the call, you have to do that. But other times it's like be a little bit flexible, because someone will talk for 5 minutes. Ricky will talk for 15.
It's even the forms.
And he knows that's coming. He knows somewhere he can hear me. He'll be listening. So
it's even the forms that are set out with the times and everything, like the structure of the mastermind call. I found those nosing around, and all of that stuff is really good for setting it up,
Yeah.
Basic, but good.
I know that Russ, you usually have to run now. Do you have to go?
I do have to go.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. Well,
but I've loved this.
Did you feel that your question in the beginning was answered around, because I personally didn't feel it was, but did you feel like you did?
Well, I'm not sure which one of my questions you're referring to. I had about 5 of them, but basically I was putting it out whether people would support and assist me in creating a new mastermind group.
Yeah.
And that's really what I was looking for. And I feel very loved on this platform. I really do. I honestly, feel appreciated and honored when I come here, and it's a wonderful thing. It really is. And I owe that to you. So.
To us all.
I'd love an opportunity to come to your mastermind calls. I'd love that opportunity.
Well, of course, you'll be invited and welcome, and I hope I get invited to yours too, Kirsty.
Yeah, and thanks for choosing to create that space for us, Russ, to come and be a part of the value that's shared within there, as well as sharing our own value, because that's the gift in itself, the opportunity to do so. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys, and you'll see probably a lot more of me in the near future, and I just want to thank you for the gift that you are to me every week, and I appreciate you.
Could I ask one question before you go, Russ?
Certainly.
Those documents that I mentioned, do you have those?
Which
Because
document?
the documents that are set up, how to structure the mastermind meeting and the videos that Lloyd and Christoph put together, I can send them to you if you like.
Yes, would you please? Would you email them to me?
Yes, I don't know whether I have your email address. I wonder if we could pop it in to the chat, or
We could, and it's incredibly simple. So we could do that. But do you know my name? Of course you
yes,
do.
I do. I know Russ.
It's russdevan@gmail.com. It's that easy.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, and I'm at a request. I am at a request for anything you think will support what I've discussed that I'm up to here.
Excellent. I'll send you some documents. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, please do. And Martin, I copied that link that you put in the chat, and I just wanted to ask, what was that?
Oh, that was the link to the book that you mentioned.
The link to the book I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Illusions.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yep, that's the one.
Good. Yeah. All right. Good. All right. Thanks. And yeah. Good night.
Yeah,
Here.
see you, Russ.
Good morning.
There. Russ.
Okay. Okay. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye-bye.
I'm going to have to get going anyway, because I've got my accountability stuff to get on with. I know that we didn't cover Outwitting the Devil, chapter 4. I will be going, hopefully, over it tomorrow night instead, with regards to on that Gold Star call. But no doubt you've got your own notes as well. Anyway, what you took from it. Is there anything before we go that anybody just wants to touch on?
Nothing important. Just want to comment that I missed out on a couple of calls last week, and that probably contributed to me feeling pretty rubbish over the weekend, because I didn't have this time to be able to talk pretty much freely, and just been busy with other things going on around here as well. So yeah, these calls mean a lot to me. So yeah, great. Thanks to you guys for your support on the openness and the safety of having these chats.
You're welcome, mate. Thanks for sharing.
I value the same. I think they're just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome calls.
And please know as well, like with what you said before, Kirsty, that I don't have any attachment to you guys, coming on and as often as you like on the free calls. The more the merrier. There's always great value shared. Obviously, when it gets to a point where there's loads of people, we have to be consciously aware of people creating their own masterminds, but also who gets to speak. I know on one of the calls I was on with the first one I was on with Christo and Lloyd, they had 20 odd people on, and they just went around and said, look guys, everyone who's a gold star, respectfully don't speak through like the introduction and so on. Let the free members come on and just share who they are, or the guests. And and obviously as gold star members, we're all good. It's the same as when you go to a network marketing event, so to speak. If you're a distributor, you give your seat up to the guests, that kind of thing, unless you've got disability or whatever it may be. So that's just things that we'll be conscious of going forward. But I'm still in a phase, just so you know, and everybody who watches the replay, I'm still in a phase of testing. So I'm just finding out what's working for me. If it's aligned with me, do I want to change it up? Even with the presentation I do of Noble Goldman at the end of the free one, I'm going to change that all up. I want an even faster, quicker, clearer. So it's not 15 minutes. It's literally within 5 minutes done, that I can put right at the end. So I keep it to an hour. So there's all these things that at the moment I'm testing and just finding out what works, because every time I bring something, it's a value, but it can always be improved. And that goes back to what I said earlier, Kirsty, that video I posted in the group chat. It's just simply an introduction of, this is what I see as the value, but watch this 30-minute video to really see what value I get from this and how I believe it's of value to you if you fit into these categories. So it's that thing of just wherever people are at. You know, for instance, I've got a friend who's a network marketer. She's got a massive R-bomb business. And I'm like, this platform would be amazing for you. But she just wants it within a couple of minutes. And I'm like, you won't get the whole value in a couple of minutes. But I can show you in a couple of minutes. But I know you're going to say, well, what about this? And how does this work then? And how does this work? If you take the time, I guarantee it will change your whole business. I guarantee it will. But if you're not willing to take the time, somebody else in R-bomb will get that position, or any other company for that matter. It's irrelevant. It's like the isogenics. I don't know who's the leader in the isogenics, but every single MSI that's in there at any given moment in the future has the opportunity for someone who is a better leader, who's showing up in Noble Goldman, who's doing the work, who's adding value constantly, has the opportunity to have that spot. And that's where the quote of success is only rented really comes into its own. Only rented. You have to keep working on it.
I used to say in London, you're only as good as your last trade.
Yeah. And that is really what helps. And this is even when you look at the platform in itself. The platform right now, Noble Goldman, is the best version of itself, but it's getting better every single week. And that is one of the best things for us, because we have direct communication to the programmer who happens to be the founder. Like you just think about how I've even the Enagic website now, I still think it's a lot better than it was, but it's not good enough. And I have no communication to those guys. And to be fair, those guys don't even listen to people. So the fact that we have the ability to go direct to the source and go, this is why I believe you can implement this and improve this and do this. And then in Mark's case, turns around and goes, you're adding so much value to this community. I want to do something of value back to you. How can I be of more service to you? And he knows he can't do that for everybody, but not everybody's willing to really step up to that level. Because we know that in any business, it's only really the top 3 to 5% max that really step up to that massive level. And you can serve them. You can't serve everybody. Everybody else benefits from what the 3-5% create. That's where it really works, in my experience, in my opinion.
I'm visualizing my name at the round table.
Good work. I'm just seeing now, because I've not been able to get into Noble Goldman this morning. So I've been wondering if there's been an update. I'm just logging in now to see if the new back end's been implemented yet. No, it's not up yet. I'll message Mark and say, hey, come on.
Sort your stuff out, Mark. Come on, get on with it.
What's going on?
Martin, if I can just ask very quickly, that a 30-minute video you're talking about that you're going to produce, is that one for yourself, or is that one that we're going to all be able to use?
It will basically be one that everybody can use, because it's going to be, it was going to be me going through Noble Goldman the same as they do on a Mastermind, well, it's not a Mastermind, but on the introduction Noble Goldman call.
Yes.
But I'm going to just get straight to the point.
Good, excellent.
What might be, I think the thing to understand though is that it goes back to what we said on the previous call and what Glenn said earlier as well. The way you speak and the way you present Noble Goldman is for your audience, your avatar, not for mine necessarily. So as I said on the other call, I'm only really looking to work with coaches and network marketers. That's it. So therefore, when I'm speaking about Noble Goldman, I'm selling Noble Goldman as to me as a coach and network marketer, as well as to other coaches and network marketers. So those people who don't fit in that category would probably struggle to see it. So well, you were on the call. I don't know if you were, Glenn, but certainly Kirsty, you were on the call where a guy called Alan said, oh, it's just network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how do you even think that?
Mm.
So I didn't explain it, but he was triggered from a word and an experience back to network marketing. So, and one of my takeaways that I actually wrote down was, I think it was something like, we need to be aware of, or we can choose to be aware of not allowing our past to control our present or our future, something like that.
Mm.
Guy won't even speak to me anymore. Now,
He was very triggered.
Just goes to show where he's at. Now, that's perfectly fine. But he taught me something in the moment, and that was one of my big takeaways. Don't allow my past to control where I'm at right now or in my future. Now, he may have seen that, which, you know, possibly could have done as me having a dig at him, but I wasn't. I got a lot from that because I was massively dumped on, I won't swear, but dumped on by a guy who was my sponsor in another company and abused me, and he was only interested in the money he was earning through me being in his team. But it was a big lesson for me. But I could have choose to carry that chip on my shoulder for the rest of my life and never bothered stepping into the next phase of network marketing or direct sales or coaching or whatever it would be. So that point around that was just really that I'm not. Whenever I create the videos, I'm always creating them with very clear direction as to who I am speaking to. Knowing that, and that's why, to be fair, Kirsty, that's why I choose to do my videos to such a higher level. Now, there's a lot of things that I'm not happy with about my video. There's a lot of things that I'm not happy about it. And it's not that I'm any better than you in this case. It's just that my level of expectation is even higher for what I want to provide than yours is like, wow, what you've created, Martin's amazing. But mine's like, the back wall isn't good enough. The lighting's not good enough. But at the same time, and this is because the audience who I'm going for are 9 and 10s. And therefore, they're looking for, they're noticing all these things. But I also know that if I don't get out there and record that video with this wall behind me and Bessie behind supporting me and our family here, then people are missing out on this opportunity to be a part of this. But also knowing that when you step in, if you see the value of this video and you watch this video and go, wow, that's really well done, that is the same level of value you're going to experience from being aligned with me and working with me. Does that make sense? That's where I'm setting that bar. Because if they don't see it on the outside, they're not going to believe the value's on the inside either. But that's also very important to understand that don't limit ourselves by not recording a video. Because we have to start somewhere. And I know that Beth came across my first video and she's like, oh, you're going to cringe when you see it. And even with my first water videos, I watch them back and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? But they serve the purpose in one, connecting with people. They also serve the purpose in me becoming better. And that's one of the things Randy Gage said. You can't do an average presentation without doing a crap one. You can't do a good one without doing an average one, and you can't do an excellent one without doing a good one. So to get out there and present and do the videos and learn and put yourself out there all the time, because the more you do, the confident you get, the better you become.
Very true.
I think though, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but what I kept thinking then too is keeping in touch with your target audience, who your target audience is. And like you did say, you're targeting the highest level, basically, you know. It's like when I was doing studies, when I was doing my uni stuff, I figured out, you know, what the lecturer wanted, not what I thought, not what I believed in or anything like that. I just figured out, what do they want? And I delivered that, and I came through with high distinctions, because that's what it's all about. It's about delivering, whoever the target audience is, delivering what they want, what they expect, at what standard.
And that's it. And you're totally right there, Kirsty. So what I actually did was I went away and I created a 2 to 2.5 minute video for coaches and one for network marketers. So 2 completely different messages, because they're 2 completely different industries. But in all fairness, most network marketers who have a team and who we maybe would class as successful, they are coaches or mentors in a way. So
have we seen them, Martin? Have we seen them?
They're on my YouTube channel. But I just posted them all live on my YouTube channel. So
I'll have a look. If
you go there, you'll see them. I think there's 5 videos I've recorded, and they're all live, so everyone can see them.
I'm a certified life coach, nutrition coach, and coach for everything else in the world.
so you can go and see, if you happen to come across my video and let's say it's actually targeted at coaches, would that resonate with you as an outsider? Remember, it's always about put ourselves as an outsider. So when we put ourselves as an outsider, it's like, well, what are the challenges in my business? What is it I'm looking for? What are the results that I want? So you know, one of the things that I can't remember who told me this, but a lady's husband passed, and he was the owner of the company, and he was there every day and so on, and she had nothing to do with the company. And when after the funeral, everyone thought she was just going to sell the company because she had nothing to do with it. And she went into the company and she said, okay, what's not working? What is working? What can we do better? Yeah. There were the only 3 questions, something like that she asked. Yeah. So, and every time she went in, they were the same 3 questions. What's not working? What is working? What can we do better? And they went from 5 million a year to like 20 million a year, just through those questions. That's all she did. Now, that's when you look at it and go, well, what am I doing right now that's not getting me the results that I want? Yeah. And even asking yourself this to create a video. What is it that is getting the results? What is it that I can do better? Now, when we look at every single network marketer, tell me the one biggest thing that every network marketer would say, in your opinion, and there's no wrong answer. What is the number one thing that every network marketer would say is their biggest challenge?
Prospecting.
Getting people to listen to you, getting engagement.
Engagement in what way, Glenn?
Being open.
Okay. So the biggest thing that I find over the years is that, I mean, there's no wrong answer there, is that if you go to a team about, well, I've spoke to everybody, I've got no one else to speak to. Well, we know that no business can grow without continuous lead generation, but also educating the current database, keeping them warm. You know, it's been 2 years. My mum gets an email from a company called Dangerfield, which does clothing, and she loves their products. 2 years later, she spent some money online. But it was 2 years of them emailing her. She got the email, right time, bang, bought. So the process is when we're speaking, I find, I'm not saying I'm right here, but I find is that I'm looking at it, okay, as a coach, what is it that I'm looking to achieve? What are my challenges right now? Where are my clients? Every single coach out there promises the same results. How am I any different then? How do I stand out? Every single network marketer wants more lead generation, wants to create duplication. That's the biggest thing for a network marketer to be successful, is duplication. Because it's great. Everybody wants Martin Ball in the team. Not blowing my own trumpet, but everyone wants Martin Ball in the team. But what about the rest of the team that's come through Martin? Are they duplicating, or does it just stop at Martin? Are those people going out there and doing the home events, doing the live events, doing the videos? or does it just stop at Martin? And that's what I find in particular Noble Goldman gives us a way to duplicate with ease, because in all fairness, we can put whatever title we want and whatever parameters and barriers around it we want, but a mastermind is a Zoom call covering a topic that we might have just pulled out. One of the things that I'm going to start doing is a quote from a book. What does this quote mean to you? Let's mastermind around what this quote means to us. Like, that simple. We can have an hour conversation just on a quote from somebody else and say, how's that, what does that mean to you? How do you feel it's impacted in your life? And there, you've got your content, we've got connection, we've got value, we've learned from each other. That's the power of a mastermind. What can we now do to implement that in our present life and maybe towards our goals and our vision? And that straight away, you know that you get anybody who's like-minded or in that space and they come onto a call like that, they're like, wow, this is a value, because with all due respect, most of the online calls they get onto with a company are about the same topics, lead generation, the products. We've got an amazing product, the company's doing this, but it's the same kind of conversation. With all due respect, that's what it is. This is on a far deeper level to shift through the barriers and give us some understanding of, well, do you know what? The products are great, but maybe not everybody needs the product right now where they're at in their life.
That's for sure. It's given me so much. You know, I lost everything. I lost my confidence. I lost everything. And I just came in here at the right time to start growing Kirsty Incorporated back again, to come back, you know. I think I was about to start growing cabbages.
I love the way you keep saying Kirsty Incorporated, because that's what's going to really drive you. And it's a great message. I'm creating Kirsty Incorporated because of X, Y, and Z. I would love to have the opportunity to work with you to help you create Glenn Incorporated, Sandy Incorporated. Let's let people see who you truly are and your greatest gift, which is your value.
Yeah.
Maybe that's your message. I'm going to have to run anyway, but I'll share this. I'll drop this into the group.
Cool.
As I said, if you go to my YouTube channel, Martin Inspires, then there's the 5 videos are on there in the video section, and you can just. I think the longest one, apart from the 5-minute one I did about why I love Noble Goldman, Imaginations on the which I tagged you in, and then the network marketers, the coaches. I think I did one for people who are just hungry for money, and I did one for people who value personal development, because I'm going to use some of them as adverts. So
it's Martin Inspired is the YouTube channel.
Inspires.
Inspired.
Yeah, Martin Inspires is the YouTube channel.
Look at it quickly. It says Martini Inspires. Just the way my mind works.
Yeah, and there's my videos on there. So
it's a good channel. It's very polished. I like it.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's a slow progress. It's a slow progress, but yeah. Right, I'm gonna have to go because I'm bursting for a wee again. Anyway.
So that's the Lisa done today already.
Go and have yourselves a tremendous day, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you kindly. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, Glenn. Bye-bye.